seems like everybody just being put aside, like, oh, their lives don't matter or whatnot, because they're Indians and Native people and this and that. So
41-year-old Stacy DeBungee was found dead in the McIntyre River in the fall of 2015. Police decided quickly he fell into the river, drunk. An independent review has now backed up the findings of a 2016 private investigation and a Fifth Estate documentary, saying there was no basis to affirmatively rule out foul play, and that investigators' premature conclusion may have been drawn because the deceased was Indigenous. Cameron McIntyre is in Thunder Bay with reaction.
Just the way that they said that he found him.
Brad DeBungee never believed what police told him, that his brother Stacy drowned here on Thunder Bay's McIntyre River after passing out on the riverbank. Even after his band's counsel hired an investigator and found evidence to the contrary, he couldn't get police to listen.
I was up against a brick wall and they wouldn't answer my questions and this and that. And just how they came to the assumption that he rolled into the water and drowned.
Concerns now confirmed by Ontario's independent police review director, who says police not only jumped to conclusions, they were negligent, overlooking evidence, and possibly discriminatory because of DeBungee's Indigenous status. No surprise to Indigenous leaders here.
Somebody made the assumption that it's just another drunk Indian rolling in the river.
Today, chiefs representing northwestern Ontario and DeBungee's home First Nation repeated calls for Thunder Bay Police Chief J.P. Levesque to resign.
And if he refuses to resign, I'm calling for the board to fire him.
Levesque isn't talking. Neither is the police service nor the police board that oversees it, citing privacy concerns. This is not the first time racism has been a central issue in Thunder Bay. DeBungee died while there was an inquest underway into deaths of 7 Indigenous youths in Thunder Bay, which resulted in recommendations to police and authorities.
Right? I no longer trust the Thunder Bay Police.
Tonight in Thunder Bay, a community talk at the university on racism, and plenty of acknowledgement of tensions existing in the community.
I see blatant systemic racism every day. I mean, our headlines show it.
It's like everyone has their own personal safety guides of how to survive in Thunder Bay.
Travis Hayes' father was once deputy chief of police here, at a time when many are talking about the justice system in the cases of Colton Bushy and Tina Fontaine. He calls this an example of prejudice.
It really shows that it's not just the court systems, it's not just getting better representation on juries, it's also about challenging these cultures within policing institutions that really devalue the lives of Indigenous peoples.
As for the officers cited in the report, the independent police review director says there are grounds for non-criminal professional misconduct charges. So far, no hearings have been set. Cameron McIntyre, CBC News, Thunder Bay.
As Cam mentioned, at the time of DeBungee's death, an inquest was underway into the deaths of 7 young Indigenous people, 5 of whom had been found in Thunder Bay waterways under similar circumstances. Police were also accused of rushing to the assumption that those deaths were accidents. This latest review calls that troubling, saying one would have reasonably expected that investigators would be particularly vigilant in ensuring that the sudden death of an Indigenous man found in the river was thorough. Unfortunately, the opposite was true here.